Good evening, everyone. I'm Shadow's Pub, and welcome to Pimp Your Post Thursday, taking place in the Steam at Ramble and streamed live on Rambling Radio on DLive. And for those who are new to the show, you'll see a message I'm going to drop into the channel with instructions for an emoji you use to enter the queue. When I see the emoji, I will add you to the queue list and put another emoji by yours. If you want to see where you are in the queue, visit the DLive link. Be sure to mute the sound there if you're listening here. When your turn is called, you will drop your link in the text chat and come on to voice to tell us about your post. If you're unable to use voice, then you must have text ready to copy-paste into the text channel when you drop your link. There we go. The formalities are clear. And did we get our new people into the... Yeah, she did. She got into the channel. All right. Yidneth is going to lead us off tonight.
Woo! Oh, good evening. Oh my god, I made it. I usually come to the morning and I didn't sleep last night, so I joined today 1 hour earlier. It's just like just like awake here. But I made it, yay. So I'm going to share a photography post. I know that most of the people follow for my music, but I kind of like fantasy. Also as illustrator and as a photographer, and I maybe because I was just like longing to be in the water, I wrote today about water nymphs and a fairy tale that I particularly love, that it's called Undine, which is a German romance. Let me drop the link. Oh my god.
Good plan.
So I talk about this tale, Undine, which is a story that actually inspired Hans Christian Andersen to write The Little Mermaid. Actually, the text is not very long and it's actually in public domain. So there is a link, if you like fairy tales, there is a link to actually read it online and legal. And it was published in 1811. It is very sad. You can imagine that The Little Mermaid is actually a sad fairy tale, but I would say the Undine is even more tragic. But I take the chance to talk about the Undines, the water nymphs, and the elemental spirits, and kind of asking also what's your favorite fairy tale, because I kind of intend to go on with myths and legends and fairy tales as well. And I try to reenact one of the illustrations of the. Actually, it's about a water nymph that falls in love with a man and marries in order to get a soul. But actually, the soulless creature that she is has more feelings, and it's more pure of heart than the human itself. It's just like a kind of an irony. So I ask, what's your favorite fairy tale if you want to share? And I share the pictures that I made inspired by it, and a little bit of the background of this story, as well as the link if you want to read it. And that's basically it.
Thank you. It's always interesting to know what's behind the fairy tales, because there's always a story behind them.
Yes, well, in this one has a particularly eerie, almost gothic ending. And I think it quite inspired Wuthering Heights and The Little Mermaid, both of them. It has just like quite an unexpected outcome, but I'm not going to spoil it.
I've read some material that a lot of the classic fairy tales have a bit of a gruesome story behind them. I haven't read all the stories yet.
Yeah, well, they usually are not written for children. Fairy tales traditionally were written to teach a lesson, not only to children but to adults. And the original versions sometimes are kind of, not really entirely for children. And I kind of collect the illustrated fairy tales, so it's something that I particularly love to reenact. And as I love nature, I go and try to dress. I don't know. I know it's geeky, but I love to do that.
All right. Bluefin says, I found an awesome drag show in Provincetown. It's a twisted Disney drag show. Going to find a good photo. That will get interesting. Thank you, Yidness. Evening Art, you're up.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Uh, hello. I've got a basic post this evening. It's very short. It's basically a little microfiction competition that I've put together, just 50 words, based on the prompt, which is the image you can see in the thumbnail. And it's going to be open for the kind of, what do you call it, the payout life of the post. And then I'm going to choose one or maybe a couple. And there's going to be an SBI shares prize. So yeah, that's my little post.
Very nice. So you're using a picture prompt rather than a word prompt.
Yeah, because I quite enjoy a bit of photography, but always feel a bit like, why am I putting that up? So I thought that might be quite a nice way of getting a bit of engagement and yeah, just having a bit of fun. There's some amazing stories already up there. If anyone fancies going having a read, there's some really lovely ones coming up.
Yeah, and it's no easy task to do a 50-word story.
And Dreamsteam dropped something which I never saw before. It's called Steam Bounty or Bounty Comment or what? I can't. On the post, anybody who comments on it gets a little bit of a competition for. I don't know what it is. I guess you get some money for your comments.
Oh, we should get her in here to Spain.
You'll get dreamy.
Payouts at the end of the cycle as well. But I think when the post pays out, the Steam Bounty pays out, and it kind of, yeah, like you say, gives shares of that amount to everyone that's commented.
Well, be interested to see how that works out. I'd never heard of it.
I think it's fairly new. I've seen it on a couple of posts, but not many. But yeah, so if anyone fancies having a play with that, that'd be lovely.
Nice. Thank you, Evening Art.
Thank you.
And Swolsome, you're up.
Evening, guys. I'm so glad this post is not following the fairy tale one.
Why?
I am officially done with posting on Steam.
Why?
It's the algorithm is broken. This is not about price. As you guys may know, I have been on this platform for 2 years now. I am one of the originals. I may not have the Steam power to showcase it because I wasn't as active because I was trying to graduate from college with a bachelor's degree, but I have put blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I have a reputation for it. And I can say that Steam has dropped the ball. Steam Inc. has dropped the ball. This is not about the price. This is about execution. I found a platform that's better, more passionate, and does more to combat abuse in its few months alive than Steam has done in years. We let people like Walden run around abusing people. We let people upvote jerking off each other to get the trending. Right now, this post would not get seen by most of you if not for people like Shadows Pub doing efforts like this to content good creations, good stuff. My hands are shaky. This is how mad I am. I'm pissed off. I'm going to stick around for Steam, for communities, for good projects, for games, but I am done with posting on Steam. There's no point in posting right now unless you upvote it or hope that you have a lot of followers who will see it. It's broken. Can it be better? Of course. If SMTs work, if they work. If communities work, if they work. But this team has showcased time and time again that they don't care. They asked Sneak, they said, what do you think about the early adopters? I said, I don't care for the early adopters. I care for the millions coming after them. They don't care about us. They asked Ned, he said, I don't care. It works. In his mind, the blockchain is working, air quotes, but it's not working for us. It's good to have communities like this. It's good to have stuff like this. But if you're not pissed off, why aren't you? I found a platform that has a passionate user base that's about sports, about stuff I care about and stuff other people care about, and they have different ways to actually people can earn. They can earn just from being active on the platform when they share revenue from the ads and marketing. 50% of the marketing budget is going to go to people who are active on the platform. They have bounty programs. They have all these different stuff that Steam doesn't care about because Steam's already making money, and they can have a broken thing with a trending page. Just look at the pictures in that post. Look how gorgeous that setup is. And that's from a platform that's only been around for 2-3 months versus trending page on Steam that's been around for 2 years.
Are
We are
you
playing.
talking into a tunnel?
I don't know what happened. I heard an echo too.
Yeah, you're off in
Edge and Woody.
the woods.
I don't know. When I was speaking, Edge and Woody's thing was bouncing back at me. I don't know what was going on.
That's weird how I can do that to you, huh? I have so much power. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was gonna make a comment about how I do like the way it looks, and it resembles the Ono, the way Ono's going about it, and with the advertising, and hopefully that doesn't, take over what it is right now with private interest groups coming in and posting all over the place and getting their stuff seen above the actual pure content creators. But I don't know, looks like it might be worth looking into. I'm not turning my back on Steam by any means. I'm here for the long haul, and I think one of the differences between Steam and Squirm, I don't know, I haven't looked into Squirm much, but is this something that other people can build off of? What type of blockchain technology are they using? Is it like a ERC20 tokens, or is it EOS, or what is it?
It's an ERC20 token. If I remember correctly, they basically looked at Steam and tried to build better Steam. They just okay, we have a platform like Steemit. The devs, I'm not a technical guy, never said I am, but the developers I've talked to, there's going to be applications onto it, and there's so many different uses right now. For example, because it is sports related, they have an actual betting exchange on the platform. They have daily fantasy leagues that you can play right now and earn their variation of Steam Power, which is also called SP because it's Storm Power. You can actually earn crypto and stuff to where you can curate, you can grow your power and grow your stake from just doing what you love. If you like sports, this is the place for you. If you don't like sports, you can just follow good content because it's actually good content that's going up. I had faith in the Steam blockchain for a long time. The only reason I'm still sticking around is because of you guys and the games are coming on here. But I will not be blogging on Steam until they fix that trending page. Right now, Steam has been focused.
First of all, you keep intermixing Steam and Steemit. They're not one and the same. There's the Steam blockchain, and then there's Steemit. Steemit is broken. We've known that all along.
Yeah, Steemit was the first front end built off of the Steam blockchain. There's been a lot of others coming, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more as people start to acknowledge the fact that, hey, we actually can make it better if we just put a little effort into it. That's where people that have more technical knowledge than myself need to come in and be like, hey, well, it needs to be this, 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 and this. And I know there's one right now, the UX Yeti, who is building just a fabulous one called Sugar Steam. It's going to be awesome when that comes out.
Yeah. The writer's block has got a front end that's coming in. There's other front ends that keep popping up. Dynamics made the comment, and I know this has been brought up on different forums, about the fact that Ned is doing some powering down. We've got to keep in mind, Ned has a stake just like the rest of us, and if he wants to power down to take his funds out for whatever reason, it's no different than anybody else doing it, and we shouldn't read too much into it.
That's not a bad thing either. That frees up more steam for the rest of us to accumulate,
I'm more bothered by the bid bots right now, to where people aren't focused on curating because they make more money just delegating to account. And because
I don't know that you can say people aren't focusing on curating. There's a lot of curation projects running.
Yes, but not like it used to be.
No, there's more of them.
No, there's more projects, but the more content you've seen, like most of the... All right, now if people care about good content, it's not hitting the trending page because the proof of brain concept is being perfectly screwed.
Well, I get it. I get it that you're discouraged, but at the same time, I don't think that it's quite as bad as what you're saying.
Well, as far as front ends go, I wanted to bring everyone's attention to a new front end that I just discovered a couple of days ago that is called Steam Peak, like the peak of a mountain. I've only poked around on the site just a little bit, but I promise you I'm going to be looking deeper. But what I've seen already has definitely got some advantages over Steam and Ink, so.
And Muxie's pointing out the trend is a mess, and that's agreed. But the trending on, the new front end that the writer's block is putting up won't be based on monetary values. I think Steam Sugar is not going to be necessarily based on monetary values. I think there actually is going to be options on the sorting of it. So
Well, if I
better
understand
front ends are
correctly,
coming.
if I understand correctly, Steam Peak has addressed the trending issue too.
Yeah. So better front ends are coming. I don't think Steam had any intention of continuing to be the, main and only.
Well, what needs to happen is some of those badass devs out there need to build a front end that recognizes a trending page that was bought with, bot votes, and then one that is natural, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, it can be done.
Sure, it can.
Algorithm-based trending or what that can be manipulated or when you buy. You bring up some good points, Swolsome. You're passionate. There's no question about that. Thank you.
I do know quite a few people that would dig into that, being at a sports venue for the most part. So I'm a bookmark it. Just so I can check it out myself.
An engine, you're next.
Okay, give me a second. I've got tabs open and I forgot which one.
He's busy bookmarking and he lost track.
You forgot where your thingy is? Wait a minute. Hold on.
My thingy. Stop playing with my thingy and I'll be good to go. Okay, some of you know, some of you don't. That Killer Whale has been my contest profile for pretty much a year now. And I just can't do it anymore. The price of Steam's dropped down low, and the interest has dropped in the contests, and it's getting harder and harder to make payouts. So I am turning Killer Whale into a curator, which is funny you mentioned that, Swolsome, that there's not enough curation projects out here. They're just within the Alliance alone, I know of about 20, and they all seem to do pretty well and bring a lot of attention to people, but yeah, so that being said, I'm not entirely sure how I will go about it, but yeah, a little sad. Kind of, that's what I was going over this morning. I was like, man, this is just getting rough. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, so I have shut him down for now, and we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe when he can swallow fish whole, then we'll bring back the contest. But as it stands right now, it's just getting too much on my plate. So gotta clear some of it off. Hope nobody's too sad like me.
Well, we'll soften the blow a little bit. The giveaway is running in the giveaway channel. Thank you, Engine.
Thank you. My baby's crying too. She's like, no.
I hear that. Uh-oh. All right, Dynamic Green, you're up.
I wanted to pimp Barbie's post. Well, Team Good's post.
Right.
I, just showing some love. People that tell the truth or try to tell the truth, they can sound, they could be radical like myself. And I really appreciate the people at Team Good. We're all kind of a bunch of crazy pirates and, just wanted to show some love. And I really appreciate Barbie and her honest efforts at trying to create something with Battle Axe. And there's another person there too, but it's kind of just, it's very piratey, so it's hard to tell who's in charge sometimes.
Oh, you mean Reverend Drum?
No, that's one of the pirates. It's like a Battle Axe, Annika Barbie, and I'm not quite sure who the other person is because those are the two main ones.
Sapphic.
Probably Sapphic.
Yeah, Sapphic, but she's like the cool, mild. It's hard for me to associate her with those two because she's kind of more reserved. So yeah, I could.
Underground's over there too, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, me and him.
Fidget's cute.
Huh? Well, yeah. Sarge is part of that team too. We're all just pretty wacky, so I just wanted to share that post. I like it over there. So.
Okay. Thank you, Dynamic. Rhonda K, you're up.
I'm pimping Shadow's post.
Uh-oh.
There was a post earlier by Evening Art about a 50-word contest, and we're going to be doing a 100-word contest from the writer's block soon. We have a couple of contests running right now. But anyway, rather than contest this time, let's go around what we did. We've been doing workshops. And I knew she had it in her. You know, I just had a feeling. But this is a post that she did a little. It's like 137 words. G-Mug says he can't upvote it twice. I was so impressed with this one because 100 words or even 137 words, we weren't real picky. Now in contests, I'm picky on word count, but in the workouts, no. 137 words is not a lot of words to get across the whole picture that she gets across here. In these 137 words, you get a whole family dynamic. You see the whole picture of how this works between mother, father, child, the whole thing. And that's quite an accomplishment. And so this is her debut fiction really out of the gate. And I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. It's typewriting. It's, it's just a lot of stuff conveyed in very few words. And Shadows, I just love it. Thank you so much for participating. And this is wonderful. I'm glad you posted this.
Thank you. Security. This is his first. Is he with us still? There he
He's
is.
got his mic.
Yeah, are you set up for push to talk, Security?
I don't think.
No, they told me earlier that they did not have a mic and would need to be presenting in text.
Okay, that's all right. Has he got his text ready?
I'm hoping so.
Do you have some text to go with that, Security?
If he doesn't have text to go, I can say a couple of words. I've been helping him out with some curation lately.
Okay. Doesn't look like he's got it. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Cal.
no, I'll just say a couple of words. He's got a very, very interesting process for drawing. He focuses on digital art, and his artwork's it's that kind of trippy, bit dark, bit different feel to it, which is very interesting. You know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but the way he does it is fantastic. He's got his process usually is to do. It's kind of like he builds it up with clouds, like he makes little clouds out of the drawing, and he forms the shape. He started off making having all the process photos, and then just recently he started doing a whole video process, which is fantastic. But some of his artwork's incredible. He's consistently putting out the work, and it's interesting. You know, it's a good page to check out and see if it's your kind of vibe.
And he's doing all this on the computer.
Bilingual too, so you can capture quite the audience if you want to.
I was about to point that out, and I like the way that the bilingual is done in this post. In between pictures, there's a paragraph in English, and then a paragraph in Spanish, and then a picture, and then another paragraph in English, and a paragraph in Spanish. I think that's an awesome way to do it.
And he's using Corel Painter. I like Corel. I'm waiting for Stuck to start.
What's the name of the that style, that painting style? Reminds me of like the 80s, 90s era fantasy posters.
Yes, it's almost like a Boris Vallejo.
Yeah, Vallejo, that's it. Yeah. Boris Vallejo, that's it, exactly. Yep.
Interesting work. Well done, Skirty. We're going to count that as a first presentation. So you now have your PYPT attendee role. Well done.
Got the badge. You're pimping now.
He is. He is.
Shadows, you should be happy that you didn't have to say Venezuela.
Yep. I like to avoid that.
That gnome place in South America.
That works. The Ven Gnome.
Yes, Ven gnome.
Perfect. Speaking of which, Genome, you're up.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Let me find the post. Rhonda pimped this earlier. It's from the writer's block. It's I'm getting echoes. It's our latest contest. It's the first chapter contest. What we're looking for basically is the first chapter of a novel or something that might eventually turn into one. We're looking for chapters under the 3,000 word length. You can submit it either as a link to a Steam It post or a Google document set to anyone can view. If you're not comfortable sharing it in public, then drop by the writer's block and either message myself or Rhonda. This runs for 2 weeks. The deadline is August 16th, and there are 3 prizes with a conditional 4th. First place will win 25 Steam, second will get 15, and third will win 10. Our 4th conditional category is if we get a truly standout submission, something that would demand the attention of Steamhouse acquisition editors, then they'll receive 50 Steam. And we're quite stoked to be able to offer such prizes thanks to Curie's generosity in donating to our prize pool. So, yeah, go and have a look. And, yeah.
Give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Genome. And thank you, General Gnome.
And you were wondering why I was so quiet.
Uh-huh. Bluefin, you're up.
Oh, I feel so gnomeless.
We can change that if you'd like.
I hope you don't wet your pants. I really do.
Oh, I've been like this all afternoon.
That's awesome.
I've needed it really
That's
bad.
awesome.
But, yeah.
I am pimping a post that I wrote that has no photography in it. It was really just a thank you to the Steamians around me that have influenced me and brought me to the platform, and some people who have meant quite a bit to me on the platform. A little shout out to all of them, and wanted you all to know I care about them.
Thank you, Bluefin. And for some strange reason, we care about you.
Well, that speaks volumes of your derangedness as well.
Well, that's okay. We're mutually deranged.
Indeed.
Thank you. Injun. You're up. I think he's there. He may be still dealing with the... Yep, he's there.
I'm here. Okay, reminder for those that are coming or are not coming. We have our All Nights meetup down in Blue Ridge, just north of Atlanta here towards the end of the month, which will be the same weekend as the Witness Chat this month. So that'll be sweet to have that live with all kinds of people, in attendance near my person, and do a words with Witty while I'm down there, and meet some people, make some arrangements, bunch of new faces. I had a guy inbox me that was actually from Atlanta earlier this morning, said he wanted to come up, but his only transportation is public transportation, and I was kind of sad, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll make a special trip to Atlanta, say hi or something, because I do go there once every couple months just for shits and giggles. But anywho's, yes, come see us in Atlanta, people, because I want to see you. I know there's a few here that are coming, and I will see you soon. I'm pretty excited. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, get kind of giddy.
So this will be the second time that a Witness Chat will be taking place during a meetup, and a group of Steamians will be able to listen in together.
Yes. Weird how I arranged that, isn't
it? Yeah. With no collaboration.
I know. Toronto, Poland, yes, I know. It was kind of bad timing on my part. I wasn't aware Steam Fest was coming up. I knew about Toronto, but I figured some people could kind of do both. But oh well. It is what it is. I'll see who I see, and yeah, I'll make my way out your way next year for sure. Moxie, I got plenty of people out there that we need to go see, so then you can show me around.
Genome also took note in text here. He says, for those that don't know, Steamhouse is our publishing company, which means that's the writer's block. So the fourth conditional prize will be awarded to a standout author if their work catches the eye of our editors, with a view to working on it more and developing it into a novel for publication. He forgot to mention that when he was presenting.
Yeah, I'll just presume everyone already knows, and then I thought, no, they don't.
You can never tell them too often. All right. Jan, you're up. Better known as The Hive.
Okay, I hope when I'm talking about the right thing when I'm talking about this post. I've got a few things on my mind. Basically, this post is doing nothing to change things is kind of going to cost you more or other people more in the long term. That doing anything, doing something small now can have a big difference in the long term. But to sit back and say I can't do nothing as a reason not to do anything is, I don't know, brain lazy or something.
Uh-huh. That's it?
Yeah, well, that's basically it. It's kind of like do something in this. Like I'm using myself as an example in the post. It's kind of like vote here and do something instead of voting where you're just voting for the hell of voting type thing. Basically, like to watch where your votes are going, use them wisely type of stuff, but use them to generate something now and like post something. If you're not posting that you don't have something to write about, then comment on somebody else's post or something. But do something, because doing nothing has no benefit at all.
To anybody, including yourself.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't have to be a thing with the Hive. You're voting on the Hive now. It's get out there, vote on somebody. If you have to use them 10 votes per day, it's kind of like use whatever you can, wherever you can, and help somebody. Somebody else's steam power might grow, but they're going to vote on somebody else's steam power that's going to grow, and eventually somebody's going to vote on you where they voted on someone else. It's a compound vote, basically, you generate just on a global scale.
All right. Thank you, Jan. And that means Mandel Stage is next. Ah, so you can listen, but you can't speak. And where's Mendel Sage? There he is.
Hi, yes, sorry. As usual, I was late to us copying and pasting. So, yeah, my post, I'm pumping Chris's post. Actually, it's Reactionary's post. This is Chris and Jerry. Some of you might know them. Reactionaries and Profane Reviews. And in this post, they're actually responding to my challenge that I did a while ago and that I'm actually still doing. And I really think that more people need to see these guys. They are so great. Like, they've really taken the Mental Stage Challenge to heart, and it really suits them. They are just so natural in front of the camera, and it's great to watch them together. They're amazing together as a couple, and they're just themselves, you know. This is the second installment of telling their story of how they met. And it's just such a charming, delightful, like 10-minute watch that nobody will regret watching. So go and check that out. Also, I'm pumping it because Reactionaries hasn't been posting, or wasn't posting, and has started again recently, I see. So yeah, go over there and check them out. They are really cool and really funny.
All right. Thank you, Mandel Sage. And the user Yeti, if you check up in the channel that says show schedule, you'll find when all of the Rambling Radio shows are on. And General Gnome, oh no, Dynamic Green is up next. And Dynamic, you're there. There you are.
So this is for anyone that wants to go to Steamfest. I'm helping judge this contest, and I'm still kind of in shock about it. But yeah, so if you want to go to Steamfest, this is a project being done with Rich and Agrode, and I are judges. So yeah, check it out if you want to go do Steamfest.
All right. So why are you in shock?
Well, my health's getting better, and I've been suffering with something that I'm not quite sure yet, but I've narrowed it down. My health's getting better. I'm starting to make better posts, and it's all kind of happening pretty fast. As soon as I start kind of improving my Steemit and working with Rich, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I'm a judge for something? Like, I've only been on Steemit for like 6 months, maybe 7, and I don't know, it's hard for me to process as I'm trying to like pump out my own Steemit post and other people's Steemit posts. So this is like something kind of compounding what I'm going through. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm going to have to start staying up later and waking up earlier.
That's not too hard to do. Thank you, Dynamic. And General Gnome, you're up. And she's on it.
I'm on it. This is the newest Panther optional, and it's with Eco Instant. I've heard a lot of real positive feedback on it, as in it being funny. So, I will tell you, it was probably the third one I shot, so the format is a little different from the newer ones, but it's the same show. I just have really good looking hair in this one because my daughter-in-law did my hair. But don't expect that for other ones. Just letting you know.
Here's awesome.
Only good does that. I have really good looking hair.
Well, it is.
That was your biggest takeaway?
Just saying.
Okay, General Gnome. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Big 80s hair?
No, she did it. It was like straight, like really straight. And I kept getting distracted by it through the whole show.
Oh, so she got off light on the questions then.
Well, no, this is my son. This is
All right, this is
Eco
Eco.
Instant,
Yeah.
and yeah, the one with the E.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Gastronome, you are up. I may have to remind him who he is.
That's what I was just thinking now.
Serge!
Yeah.
You're up.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry.
You'd be like, well, who's that?
Oh, that's new. I gotta give them a they're gonna wait a minute, huh?
Oh my goodness.
Did we wake
Yeah,
you up?
apparently we did.
This is a fellow that I discovered, a curator man. I talked about him before in a previous episode, Kalaju. He lives in South Korea, one of my favorite places on earth. I was there many years ago, back in the 80s. But anyway, he lives in Korea, and today's his birthday, or at least the day he made this post, it was his birthday. But he was very, very sick. He had stones, and it was blocking his gallbladder or liver or something. It was terrible. And he was in the hospital. But, all the sad stuff and everything Swole was talking about, it's sad we get disgusted, but this was really neat because a lot of people came to help him with his expenses and everything. And what did he do? He turned around and gave all of them some Steam Basic incomes. There's a lot of people in here that know that Steam Basic and SBI's was Shadows has them, Artemis has them, Eyes got some, sure, Engine. Probably most of y'all have some. But it's a nice, uplifting post. It's very nice about the things that can be done on Steam besides stalking women and wandering around drunk and being mean and nasty and hateful. I wonder who that is. But anyway, it's just a nice, uplifting post, and I just want to share that.
All right. Positive posts are always good. And Mandel Sage says he's been wondering how Steam Basic Income works. The basic concept behind it, Mandel Sage, is that if I was to send a share for you to Steam Basic Income, then I receive a share. And as your shares build, the percentage of vote that you receive on those shares grows along with it. Does that give you the basic idea? Hopefully it gives them the basic idea.
It's like buy one, get one.
Pretty much. Okay. Engine, you're up. Thank you, Sarge.
Okay. Another saddening post. I'm sorry to be bringing you guys down this evening. Both my posts are like, oh. But, yeah, Deranged Visions, who recently announced his bid for witness a couple months ago, has decided to shut his witness down. So, for people that are voting for him, please adjust your votes. I'm a little sad to see him go. I like his passion for blockchain and all things Steam. He's quite the cat. He's not quitting Steam by any means. That's not in the cards for him, but I guess he gave away enough blood where he just felt totally drained and couldn't give any more away. But yeah, go show him some love. Tell him that we wish he wouldn't go, or whatever words come out of your fingertips, and show him a little support over there, because I know that's got to be a tough decision. Shutting down Killer was tough enough. I couldn't imagine shutting down a witness like that. Just yeah.
Yeah. Those decisions aren't easy.
Heck of a blow.
While we're talking about witnesses that have...
good news about that, though.
What's that?
Well, look at his name.
I have
teamed up with Deranged Visions, and we are combining his witness votes with my own to create our own witness. So from now on, Deranged Visions will be part of my own witness.
So, anyone
Well,
who is voting deranged, please move that to coffee.
that's super sweet good news. I
Yeah,
haven't seen
that's
that
a
yet.
nice move.
I was waiting to jump on it because I saw your name, Coffee, and
Somebody made the comment on that post about teaming up with somebody. So good partner.
But if we're already voting for coffee for you, then we don't have to do a thing.
Unvote
Exactly
deranged.
Right, yes.
And
Yeah,
move
if
that
you're
vote
voting
somewhere else.
deranged at the moment, then move your vote either to me, or if you already vote me, then vote for another witness that's suitable. But yeah, I'm covering really joining with deranged, and we're going to share whatever rewards comes out of that. Got it. Sounds good.
If I can say, if ever you're sitting there with some free time on your hands and you see my name online, talk to me for a while, I'll see if our votes suit following you too.
While people were announcing about witnesses, there was also another post. Valor for Freedom has dropped his witness as well. So I don't know if anybody was voting for him, but if you were, remove your vote. And Coffee, you're up.
That was timely.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so on the back of that,
and there we go.
So tonight I'm going to share one post. I've got actually two ones from my Sublime Sunday sharers that I want to put out, but this one particularly was very nice from Lena's Vegan Living. Lovely post. If you read through it, some amazing photography. Yeah, just a wonderful share. I really like this one.
Here, I thought you'd been in Toronto. I didn't realize you're doing this for somebody else.
I never actually put my own posts on here, of course.
Yeah, Toronto has some beautiful locations. Very nice. Thank you, Goff. And Salt and Pepper, you are up. And his voice was working earlier, so we have no reason to expect it not to be now. I saw him type in there, so I'm assuming he's got his link. Or not.
It's a llama. That's like a alpaca, but different.
You still with us, Salt and Pepper? He was typing and he stopped now.
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Unless he's having a connection problem.
Oh,
there we are. All right. Okay, come on and tell us about this. Yes, newest guilty pleasure. We're not hearing you on voice chat. He's typing. Have to give him a moment. Can't get the voice going. Skip you. Okay, we'll come back around to you. Actually, Just try dropping out and coming back in. That might be all the problem is. Just disconnect and reconnect. Okay, try again.
That's a pretty good post. Correct me up.
Ah, I saw you flash. You lit up there for a moment. Don't forget you have to actually hold the key down while you're speaking. Okay. Oh, he's typing again there. Okay, we'll come back around. And Blue Gnome. Blue Gnome Studios.
Hi, all, or good evening. I am pimping a post from Welcome Wagon, where we in the Welcome Wagon are chatting about one of our new graduates, Evening Art, who actually happened to have been here a little earlier. We're giving her a little nod and some really cool kudos to some of the work that she's done lately. So I'd like you all to go take a quick look at the Welcome Wagon post where we're chatting about our new friend Evening Art.
She does some really great stuff.
She's a new family member too. She's pretty fabulous.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is.
I don't know who found her for the Welcome Wagon, but it was an excellent find.
Obviously, it was me.
Well, there we go. If I'd said it was
There's no one here to deny it otherwise, so I'm going to just take the credit.
I was just going to say, if I said that it was a terrible find, would you have blamed it on, I don't know, Dream?
Oh, you bet. Oh, you bet. Tossed her under the bus, but since it's a good move, then, it's me. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Blue. Mandel Sage, you are up. Oh, man, Genome is going to stock Evening Art. Okay, Mandel Sage, tell us about it.
Yes, this is my post from today. This game has had a lot of controversy. Like 2 years ago, they released their game, and it was the most hyped game in history, apparently, and also it had the worst backlash ever from people that were expecting something and didn't get what they were expecting. But anyway, I loved it, despite its flaws 2 years ago, and now very recently they've updated. And it's a huge update. They have been updating it, but now recently they released a huge update which basically addressed everything, all the complaints from before, and more. So the game is basically overhauled. And this is completely different, I know, from what I do here on Steemit, but I had to share it because this game, it is unique. I've explained quite a bit in the post, but basically, some of you might know that my whole thing here on Steam, and in general, actually, just as an artist, is combining science and art, as in inspiring people to get into science and critical thinking through my art, and also doing my art, getting inspired by science to create art, sort of two-way street there. Now, this game does exactly that perfectly, because of the way it's made. You see, the universe is procedurally generated, so everything you see, everything that appears in front of you as you're playing, is completely unique, as long as you are the first person to find it. And it is just pretty mind-blowing when you look into it and you understand what kind of work went into it. And just as a game, it appeals to me because I'm also a huge space fan. So anybody who loves space and space exploration, will love this game because you start on a planet, you don't know who you are or why you're there. You got to fix up your ship, and then you start exploring the universe, and you can do almost anything you want. You can follow the main story, or you can be a pirate and feed off others. You can settle on a planet somewhere that you like and become a farmer. It's incredible, and I'm going to have to resist playing the game as much as I would like because I've got way too much to do.
Is that PC or Xbox or what?
It's Xbox and the other one. What's Sony's one?
PS4.
Yeah, the
I
PS4.
must be missing something here. Does this game have a name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky.
Oh, okay. So
Is it on
is
PC
actually
too,
right
though?
there at the start.
It is. I play it on PC. It runs beautifully. And I saw that Pbok, the Steam user Pbok, I don't know if any of you know him. Coincidentally, he commented. He told me he bought it just yesterday as well. So I might contact him and see if we can meet up because in the overhaul now, multiplayer is a thing. So it's I cannot wait to get into this game.
So Genome's not so sure that he likes it any better now than he did before. So it sounds like it might be a little bit of mixed reviews.
As far as I've seen with the reviews, everybody's saying, well done, Hello Games. Despite the hate and literal death threats that you got, they spent 2 years working on the game, updating it for everyone for free, which really they really should, not charge after what happened. But yeah, they've been working really hard, and I have yet to discover all the new things, but I don't want to spoil anything really for myself, so I've been avoiding seeing what other people have been saying. I just catch a headline every now and then, and it seems good. But that's interesting that Genome, do you play? I mean, obviously you have played. So you've played now recently again?
Yeah, I played it the day that they pushed out the latest update. To be honest, I'm not really much of a multiplayer fan, so that side of it really didn't interest me. I didn't particularly think the graphics were improved that much.
Yeah, I gotta say the graphics. Well, for me, because my graphics card is not so good, I thought to myself, oh, it's just because it's my graphics card. But as I say, I have yet to go and look at footage of these huge fanatics of the game who went and bought the latest graphics card just to play it. I still need to see. But for me, also the multiplayer aspect of it, I'm excited that I'll be able to play with anyone who is as passionate about it as I am. But for me, these last 2 years, whenever I did play, which was on and off, I loved the feeling of just exploring this massive, gigantic galaxy, and the feeling of being alone and surviving. I play in the more difficult survival mode, which makes the game a lot more challenging and interesting. And so for me, it's the type of game that you want to sit back and relax and have a completely immersive experience.
Yeah. What I think my main gripe with it is with the update is, like I say, I don't play multiplayer. I avoid it like the plague, and you really don't have a choice whether you want people to join your game or not. Because I just started the game and all of a sudden I heard someone talking in my ear. And it's like, I didn't invite anyone into my game.
What?
Ooh, that would do
bizarre. It. No, I mean that's
I just had random people just turning up in my game. It's like, go away.
That's not right.
But are you sure? Because in the beginning, you can choose whether you want to go on multiplayer mode or not. So you might have started the game in multiplayer mode.
No, I double checked. You have a choice to join someone else's server or allow other people to join you. There isn't an option to not allow anyone to join you.
Oh, it's kind of forced.
That's crazy. But
Interesting.
then is there a place where you can go and find other people's servants? Oh, I see, the first option.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're getting a little overwhelmed
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Okay, but yeah, check it out. I've got a video there of my first moments as well. So if anybody wants to see game footage, it's at the bottom of the post as well.
Okay, thank you, Mandel Sage.
Thank you.
Dynamic Green, you're up. And he's typing away there. He was almost set. We're doing a little pirate in the channel. I hope those are pirate gnomes you're doing. There we go.
Oh, my Discord's acting kind of weird. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm actually really proud of this post because of Snook and Jack Miller. I'll keep praising you guys for a few weeks, probably for a while, but I'll never forget it. You guys just really kind of buttoned up some of my and you even like put a rabbit trail out. Now I need to learn CSS, line language, but yeah, I'm really proud of this. I'm just glad that you guys over at the Curation or Steam at Ramble really helped bring this together in a huge way. I mean, it really helped out a lot, and now it's given me greater abilities to recognize people in my group as everyone's starting to not post anymore and not be as active, and so it's a great. Now I can actually highlight them in a better way. I appreciate it. So thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you, Dynamic. And Injun, you're up. I know Injun's here.
Second. Yeah, I got it. Just gotta grab it.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't seen Crazy around for a minute, so I don't know if the storm's not power out or what's going on. I waited yesterday for him to come on the show, and nothing doing for a good 3 hours.
He left his
So
message. He left a message this morning that apparently they've had thunder showers or thunderstorms practically every day this week.
Yeah, cause getting kind of worried. At least he's in contact. But that particular post right there, he's kind of frustrated because he's running out of things to post. So I dropped a few ideas on there, and if people want to run over there and maybe throw some ideas down for him, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Because you gotta have something. I don't know if he's got a muse or not, but maybe we can find one for him and give him something to write about. But yeah, go brainstorm with us, see what we can come up with. He's got a good mind. It wouldn't take him much to expand on something if he likes it.
Jeez, he's having storms every day. He could write about them.
Right? take some pictures of that lightning, man.
Yeah.
Some of the storm damage.
That's for sure. All right. Thank you, Injun. And Coffee, you're up.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
You never know when I'm going to sneak up on you.
No, I really wasn't. I was totally distracted. Actually, fun enough, you've put me right out of sync now because Deranged Visions has just done a post announcing that we are now collaborating as witnesses. So I probably ought to share that one, even though I wasn't going to share that one, but I will do. Just give me one moment.
So how is that going to work? Is he going to share his blood with you and to help pay for it?
Yeah, I'm going to get his plasma, basically, yeah.
Awesome.
And yes, to answer Princess of Gnomes, there is 2 emojis that you can now use. One is the pimp and the other is the gnome.
Which shall be explained whenever I get up in the thingy.
Okay, Coffee.
So so that is Deranged Vision's official announcement that we combining as witnesses. So, yeah, as said earlier, if you already vote both of us, then find another suitable witness to vote instead of Deranged Visions, because I'm the main witness. And if you voted for Deranged Visions and not me, then vote for me instead of him. And then that will ensure that we both get the benefit. And what we'll organise between ourselves is that I am going to be supporting more his photography contests and his general witness. So moving forward, what we'll ensure is that Deranged Visions gets as much, if not more, than I do from this sort of collaboration.
All right. And Genome has gone hint, hint. Maybe try Noble Witness. That's assuming that, you voted both Deranged and Coffee.
Yeah, I mean, if you want witnesses to vote for that are certainly worthwhile, obviously Engine Witty is at top of the list. But also we've got up and coming, we've got Poets United has just come in with the Alliance. And also I've got a lot of respect for Sapphic running her witness as well. So there are plenty of people, there are plenty of witnesses you can vote for if you've got space. And Jack Miller, yes, of course. Jack Miller. Because he wants my ball.
Because he wants your balls.
And
and it just deteriorated.
Thank goodness he's in Australia and asleep right now.
Who, Jack?
I think
Jack will be asleep right now, I think, won't
he? Isn't Jack still in Croatia?
So. He's in Croatia, but it's still the middle of the night here. I think he's sleeping. I think he fell asleep in the channel.
That's entirely possible. All right.
Speaking of witnesses, I just found out some very, very interesting stuff that might come as a surprise to a lot of people. It did to me. I had a little long talk with the Marky Mark, and we know he's a witness. But did you also know that he's a veteran? So if you me,
you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, just thought I brought it up in case people didn't know, because I tried to vote all the veterans witnesses, so I added Marky Mark to my list.
All right. Thank you, Coffee. Princess Anom, you're up.
Okay, so apparently spelling is not always my strong suit.
Yeah, mine either. I don't feel bad.
I try.
That proves I'm not a bot.
This is a real post. There's a typo.
Okay, so this post is for those of you who were here this morning after the show, you saw this, but I'm really happy with this song. I do have to credit Ingenuity for the writing prompt, for the inspiration, again, because the art of music this past week was chocolate, and so I came up with this scene in my head. I just started writing, and I have a lot of muses. Yeah, but see, that GIF is decidedly unromantic, whereas
Augustus Scoop.
The mum in you wants to go and get a face cloth.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The song, however, is quite romantic because that's where I usually go in my head. But I really enjoyed this, and I wanted to share it with. I entered it for open mic because I've won the Art of Music contest several times, which is a high honor, but I thought I'd step aside. And yeah, it was really well received. Got a Curie this morning, so that was a sweet way to wake up. But yeah, if you Haven't heard it yet. Please have a listen. It's a quieter song than I usually play, but it really, to me, it's very reminiscent of winter.
Very nice. And a very cooling picture for this time of year.
Yes, that is not too far from my home, but obviously quite a few months ago.
All right. Thank you. And Artie Gnome, also known as Artemis, who, anything could happen in this channel at the After Chats.
Yes, that was a very interesting to come home to. Well, talking about witnesses, Goba Handcrafts has let the cat out of the bag. I don't know if you guys know, but it's Crimson Clad's birthday today.
Did not know that.
Ooh. Did we lose you, Artie?
I was pushing the wrong button, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So go check out this post and leave her some birthday greetings. And if you see her around the net or the interweb, tell her happy birthday.
And she's got a show that pretty much comes up on the tail end of this one. So that's good to know.
Yes, might have to head over there and get in the hug pit.
All right. Thank you, Artie. And Iluna, you're up.
Hey. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you.
Okay, this is one of my... Wait, let me turn off the TV.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sorry. This is one of my latest projects of photography, where I am taking pictures of the places I like the most from here, from my country. And sometimes these parts are one of the dangerous parts that are in Venezuela. So there is one of them. It's not me talking about how dangerous is it, but instead that I am like giving you a different perspective about that, about the place, and there is a little story that you can read if you want. Like every time I pass it around there, how I like the mud, how I like that in the center of Caracas we have like too much culture. I don't know how to say that, but there are a lot of museums. It's a beautiful place, and it's a shame that it's one of the dangerous parts of here. But yes, that's what I present today.
All right. Thank you. And Blue Gnome Studios, are you present?
Oh, the names today.
Yes. Blue Gnome Studios, are you present? He's maybe not present? Bluefin! He's not answering. General Gnome, are you present?
Accounted for.
Bluefin just spoke in the channel there a moment ago, so he can't be too far
Yeah,
away.
he can't. I don't know where he went.
He may be having a connection issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just typed in there a moment ago that he was feeling lucky, and it was just after the giveaway had finished.
Yeah, I haven't won for 2 weeks, Artemis.
This is true. Okay, they're the winners of the Steam Basic Income.
Thank you.
And General Gnome, you're up.
Oh, okay. So for everybody who's wondering about the whole name gnome thing going on, just bear with me.
Blue Gnomes.
Okay, this is the order you want to watch this in. This is the first post. It's a 3-minute just video. There's no post, so you don't have to vote on it. And that explains a whole heck of a lot.
I'm waiting for an and.
It's coming.
From there, you will want to read this post, which explains the situation, the dire situation that's been happening in Canada with the gnomes. And I wrote a letter to Therapy Thursday team asking for help. And just so you get the full picture, this was their answer. And I have a feeling there might be another video coming, a part 2, because they missed the boat on some of it. So if you're wondering about the gnomes and the zombies and the green beans, that would be the trail you will follow. Is that clear as gnomes can be?
That was a gnome trifecta.
Yeah, watch out, Shadow. Shadow's got some killer cats in the room, knocking gnomes around.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, that would be that picture still cracks me up every time I see it.
So now it's all explained. And if you were in here before the show started, you were seeing all kinds of memes show up in the channels.
No, we're not going to. We're trying to save the Canadian gnomes that somebody, not to name names, but it's not me, is trying to kill.
Save the gnomes.
That's right.
There we go. The other solution.
I think we should protect the gnomes, which is why the Wisconsin gnomes are marching towards Canada as we speak.
Well, the Yeti has got one solution. I posted the other one. It's not a problem. They're not coming across the border.
Mustn't be left gnome alone.
Okay. Thank you, General.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Dynamic Green, you're back.
Hey, let me find this link real quick.
Now we need did Engine see his gnome?
I don't know.
Oh, I have to go find that.
I don't think I saw a gnome.
Oh, there was one special for you.
Oh.
So I just listening to people talking about witnesses deactivating their nodes, and even just how people are not really using Steam and talking about powering down. This speaks volumes to our confidence in the Steam blockchain, at least, and we're still excited about Steemit, and we see a lot of opportunities in it. We're throwing money into it when we really don't have it, and we believe a lot into it. So this post actually I'm glad Dynamic Crypto made this post. Normally he's too busy, but this is something he takes seriously. He wants to become a node, and he wants to become a witness, but he doesn't want to just rush into it. He wants to find a mentor or a team of people that's willing to not look at him as competition, if you will, and maybe deal with our ignorance on certain levels because he's a miner of sorts, and he doesn't have as much experience running a node, so that's all.
All right, so if anybody's looking to get into a team or doing some mentoring, you want to talk to Dynamic Crypto. Thank you, Dynamic Green. And we've still got some things in the going on in the channel here. I noticed Salt and Pepper made the comment that there were some gnomes heading for Mexico, an army of them, but the place is almost empty, so I guess they won't have too much trouble. Texas gnomes are headed for Mexico. The place is almost empty now. Isa Gnome wants to know if they're deactivating their gnomes. And we have a limerick. I once knew a cute little gnome. He is the subject of this little poem. He went on a trip to Canada, he zipped. The Mounties kicked his ass all the way home.
Who wrote that?
This has just had way too much play, but it continues to be played. All right, Injun.
Did you see it?
If you've got over your gnome, you're up. Can a gnome get a witness?
What happened to him? Did he lose his internet?
He must have.
No,
Injun's there.
I posted his gnome.
He's there.
I got no response. I didn't get a response.
Well, maybe he's losing his connection.
Hey, can I get a mic check?
Is that you, Salt and Pepper?
Yes, it is.
All right, you're working. And Injun's trying to speak, and he's lighting up, but I'm not getting any sound. So we'll let Injun work on his sound. Salt and Pepper, you go ahead and present.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
All right. Well, no here knows me. They've, seen my stuff around, and I'm just an old man that likes to tell the truth. I came here to basically store some thoughts for some future grandkids, and I kind of, grew into just becoming a part of the community. So today what I want to share is a post that I did a few days ago. It's more for modern hippie than myself, but it just kind of gives you an idea of who I am, and the way I think about things goes back a ways. And, that's really it. Just from me, all you're going to get is just some old man's thoughts on what he sees at the end of the day.
And those, what he calls old man thoughts, come out on a regular basis, and some of them are absolutely hilarious.
I agree. I generally really enjoy reading those thoughts.
Yep. They're a post that once you start reading them, you'll want to see it every day. Thank you, Salt and Pepper, and it's great to hear from you. Literally hear from you.
I'm glad to be here. So, and it's called the Daily Dose for a reason.
Hello?
Injun, you're back.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
What in the fuck?
I don't know, but while it's working, go ahead.
While it's working? Yeah, back to some more witnessy stuff. Poets United, who is probably the newest witness that I know of at the moment, has cracked their first block. So definitely go congratulate them. Poets United is run by Medevi, also known as Two Flowers throughout Discord, and Angel Veselinov. And they are both heavy poets, musicians, and they have created a community. It's approaching 1,000 members now, just to help out all the fabulous poets out there. I don't know if anybody has a link handy. If not, I can go grab one. Knowing how resourceful Kitty is, she could probably pop one up there.
She's probably damn near got it.
that was funny too. But yes, they have witnessed their first block, so I'm pretty excited for them. They are now blue over there on steamian.info, slowly climbing up. So congratulate them, show them a little support. Now that you can take your vote away from Deranged, you can give one to them.
There you go. All right.
There it is. See, I knew she'd had it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kitty.
Yeah, that didn't. There's the link to it there. All right. And Isonome, you are up. Yeah, Sarge is keeping a list of posts.
It's time for Isanome.
Yes, it is.
Hi, everyone. You were talking about the gnomes, and it reminded me of the music I did for Steam Monsters.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a march into battle music. So now I'm picturing the gnomes marching into battle.
Sweet.
So I'm marching into Canada.
Well, they're going to try to. But the Newfie firing squad will stop them at the border.
Yeah, they got to get out of their circle first.
So this could be like their theme song as we save the gnomes.
March of the Undead. I got to listen to that one later. Zaria's music is so cool. Always worth listening to.
Thank you.
Anyone that's not familiar with that picture that I put up there, it's one of the iconic pictures from the RCMP musical ride where the lances are all pointed into the center of the circle. So we've often called that the Newfie firing squad. They'll just shoot at each other.
Sorry, the Newfie firing squad?
Yep.
Did you see the picture? You have to post it again, Shannon.
Okay. So you'll look at it with a different set of eyes now that you've heard that. There you go.
It's just great. Yeah.
It looks like they found Waldo and quickly lost him.
Well, Newfies actually are pretty much salt of the earth people, and they are very self-deprecating as far as their own sense of humor goes. So they generally are quite understanding of the jokes that are made. They usually make some of them themselves.
They do, right?
Thank you, Azaria. And Dynamic Green, you're up.
I was about ready to click on her post too. Okay, hold on. Let me drop this link real quick.
Someone Photoshop Waldo as one of the riders. Okay, tell us about this.
This is actually, he just posted this. I'm on Steam it because of him. My upvotes used to go to him all the time, but with my community and just being all over the place on Steam, and my voting power is just not there. But yeah, so he lives in a van, and he tries to give a bias or a neutral outlook on the news, but it's kind of like hilarious. He's from New Zealand. He has a great accent. Being American, I'm surrounded by bland accents, so I kind of appreciate his accent. Lives in a van, tries to be sustainable. He's all about Steam It. He promotes Steam It with every single show he does. He highlights Steam It authors, even Caitlin Johnstone. He highlights a lot. She's on Steam It. So yeah, he's just a big Steam It supporter. I'm on Steam It because of this guy, and I feel kind of bad because my upvotes are not going to him like they used to. Not that they really mattered, but he notices them, so.
So you said he lives in a van. What area of the world is he in?
By the river.
Yep, exactly. New Zealand. New Zealand.
So he would have to deal with winter conditions a part of the year.
Yeah, and you know, it's not something, he doesn't get harassed daily, but he was getting harassed a little bit because he was taking his rewards for Steam It and cashing them out to live off of. I mean, in all fairness, and I'm okay with that. You know, it's like, it's kind of, it gets to be kind of wacky on Steam It where people try to determine what other people do with their money, and I get it, it's a fine line, but I don't think he's the guy people should be harshing on. And he does get support. He actually does have nice, well support. So it's not like he's being harassed, not like he's totally neglected, but he's a good little hidden gem about Steam It. He has 300,000 followers on YouTube, and he promotes it every night. So he's like a little hidden gem in Steam It that does nothing but promote Steam It to a large audience every single night. And he has a great show. I've been listening to him for years, and he tries to do it in a very non-biased way and provides you all the information possible for you to kind of like do your own research, because that's what he encourages.
Actually, what I said was he would deal with winter weather, not that he got harassed.
Oh no, I just changed it. I was rambling. No,
Oh,
yeah, for
okay.
sure. For sure there's winter weather. He doesn't make mention of his you know, he talks about Australia a lot, but he kind of goes out of his way to not really talk about New Zealand necessarily, you know, kind of the whole, you know, pooping where you eat thing. But yeah, I've noticed that about him. He doesn't really talk about New Zealand. He talked about the other day about rivers and how like everything's starting to become tainted, but he doesn't really talk about New Zealand too often.
Genome says rambling on the ramble. Imagine that. Who'd have thought? And that's an interesting title, The Daily Rabbit Hole, because anybody that has spent 10 minutes researching something for a post knows the rabbit holes that we can wander down.
Well, it's funny because I've been listening to him for a long time, like 5+ years, I think now. And he used to have two shows, The Outer Dark and The Outer Light, and The Outer Dark was just too much for him. And it's very interesting because now he calls everything Mirror World. He went from like trying to be two different kinds of aspects to just him just being like, this is Mirror World. I don't get it. Last year they were saying this year they're saying that, and all he can do is just laugh at just everything that's going, because he pays attention and he makes these shows, and he like you know, like you archive these shows and you look at these posts and you can actually see over the last like 2.5 years you've been on Steam It. I mean, you've been on Steam It for a long time. So
Sunday will be my 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, so he sees these news articles and who produces them and the hypocrisy that happens. And he tries his best to be neutral, but it's just like, he's like, well, look at this from last year. So it's a great show, and his accent for me seals the deal.
All right. Thank you, Dynamic. That's the one of the drag bluefin?
Yeah, that would be the one from The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name though.
Ursula.
Ursula.
Yeah.
Yeah, she still scares me.
Yeah, she's scary.
And Princess of the Gnomes is next.
Okay, more poetry from me.
Okay.
Oh, damn, I hate your poetry. No. I'm like, the way you said it was like, nah. It's like you write the most beautiful things, and you present them like, all right, here's some more poetry.
I really have to.
I try to turn my enthusiasm down because sometimes I'm too much for people, but
oh hell, if I'm not too much for people, you got it free sailing.
So, Princess, this isn't a long post. Why don't you read it for us?
Okay.
Go for it.
This path beckons, leaves soft beneath, until a misplaced step turns up sharp. Brambles taunt, fey shapes dancing in light and leaves. Laughter on the wind. Roots make way for feet to leave the rest behind. His path winds and rambles, heedless of fog, flirting with cliffs of disaster and possibility. His heart knows how to fly and how to shatter. His body knows how to tumble, how to run. The path snakes on. Sometimes the trail forks such that the previous path is lost forever. Sometimes it leads to adventures unknown, to seas of uncertainty and fear and elation and freedom.
Very nice.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful poem. And sorry for anybody's ears I hurt.
Oh, Snook, I was laughing so hard I couldn't
What was
reply.
My ears are still ringing.
I got like 3 people that were like unplug headphones. I was like, oh, sorry.
So, who unplugged the headphones for whom? You didn't unplug them because of Princess.
No.
Oh, okay. Yes, it was a very lovely voice. Thank you, Princess.
Thank you. And thanks, Liddy, if you were going to drop that. That's awfully sweet of you.
I was looking for something, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that one.
And General Gnome, you're up.
This is a late night comedy show that me and Artemis North do at night. This and then I try to make outtakes of it for those that can't get D-Live to work. And this is outtake of the second one we did. We did a third one just the other night, and I still have to go through and pull some stuff out of that. So, and then we split the costs or the payouts, and then I send Artemis half of it, which is so how we've decided to do it. But it's very funny, but there is swearing. It is adult content. So if you have young children, don't, unless you want them to learn how to swear, don't have it just playing outright. So there is a warning with it. But it is very funny. And the more people that show up in chat, the funnier it gets.
So up above these chats, you'll see First World Problems. That's where the episodes are. And that's also where pants are optional. The episodes go there as well. So it's easy to find the episodes.
It's very educational. Yes, very.
Yes.
You learn all kinds of stuff. And if you want to get because there isn't a set schedule for this one, if you want to get a notice in your email, you can follow me on DLive. And it will come up that in your email that the show is starting.
My mother is too religious for me to watch that.
What was that, Jan?
My mother is too religious for me to watch that.
Well, I'm hoping my mother doesn't see it, and my son won't watch it because of the content of it. So I that's about the best I can do.
Would that be the adult content or the swearing content?
I think it's like one of each.
Okay. Thank you, General Gnome. Good to see you, Mandel Gnome. And Snecky, you're up. And Snecky's probably getting her link.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I was talking to myself. I was muted.
Ah, you forgot to press the button, right?
I muted myself. How cool is that?
Well, there you go. There we go. We got some apples coming your way. And Genome threw you a pineapple.
Ooh, thank you, people.
All right, so what do you got here?
I got a post.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to talk about it, right?
Sure.
Oh, well, I'm kind of nervous to talk about it.
Why?
And you can all blame Mendel Sage for that because oh gosh,
Is Mandel Sage making you nervous? I'll boot him.
No, you shouldn't.
Can't make our
I got-
Snecky nervous, or you're in trouble with me. What's going on, Snecky? Tell us about this post.
Okay, I've been talking with Mandel Sage for a while, and yeah, we wanted to come up with something, funny and happy and something different than always Steam It talk. So we sat together and we said, well, let's go and do snack together. So you're all invited. Gnomes are welcome too, or we can kill them together. I don't know, but it's gonna be a gathering, and it's in the You Got Snack server, and it's about you. We want to get to know the people behind the Steam It profiles, and it's you can talk about Steam It because we met all here on Steam It, but we'd like to go a little bit deeper and get to learn more about each other, get to know each other better, what we like, what we want to do, maybe even collaborate a little bit together. So you are all invited.
All right. So no Steam It busy?
Sorry?
Genome would like to know, since there's no Steam It, if he can talk about busy.
No.
There you go. He's accepting that.
Good. But he can talk about apples or apple pie. Oh, sorry. Yes, it's tomorrow at my 8 p.m. And I have no clue what time that is for everybody else. But I will be sending out an everyone and here and spammy message that we will start. 6 what?
6 o'clock UTC. Oh, Snecky. That's the same time as Words with Witty over here.
Really?
Uh-oh.
Yep. Yeah, it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How come it says 20 p.m. That's 2000 hours EST, 6 p.m. UTC?
All those times, they confuse me so badly.
Yeah, they do. So 20 EST would be 8 p.m., which is not 6 p.m. UTC.
All right. How about 5 p.m. UTC? Is there anything happening then?
5 p.m. UTC.
An hour before.
That's 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Witty's show is at 2. So it'd be the hour before. So that would work.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so we just got to change that. No problem.
Okay, so it's 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in Snecky's server, and 2 p.m. up here in the Ramble.
Is that okay for you, Snacky, that time?
Yeah. I don't want to cross anybody. I thought we had all the shows, but guess we missed one. I'm so sorry, Witty.
Witty's only done 2 of them. This will be his 3rd one.
Yeah, it's pretty new.
Yeah, it's new yet. And Stephen Wood says 5 p.m. is his manicure. Battle Axe is going to stream her life 24/7. It's one never-ending show. She sleeps and eats a lot. All right. So now we got it. 1 p.m. tomorrow. Be in the You Got Snacks server.
Yes, and bring a happy apple, or just be happy. Be happy.
There we go. Thank you, Snacky. That wasn't so bad, was it?
It really was. It really was, because it's very late. It's almost 3 a.m. here, and talking at this hour is like, I don't know, it's weird.
You sound great.
Hey,
Well, thank
Snacky, you want to mention about the muting themselves if they don't want to talk type of thing? Or like they want to
Maybe
answer
you can deal
questions?
with that there.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Snacky. Swolsome.
Thank you for having me. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Swolsome, you're up. Good to see you, Cal.
Grabbing the
Okay. Grabbing the link. I'm heading off a cat here. He's trying to head for the keyboard. Swolsome's gone for his link. I'm watching for him to type. And he's backed off. There we go. Okay.
Okay. So, I've had time to recollect. I went to McDonald's. I ate. I feel better. Still aggravated about what was happening earlier, but I can see the front ends, how it'll make a difference. But I had mentioned before that one of the things I'm really excited about is the Steam blockchain and what's possible with it. Because currently, there have been a couple of video games that have come into cryptocurrencies, into blockchain technology, etc. But most of these games are either really, really basic, or you have to pay fees every time you do an action from $3 down to a few cents each every time you do an attack, every time you put troops out, what have you, or even buying and selling on the market. Even if you don't sell it, you still have to pay up to 50 cents to $1 just to get stuff done. So being able to put a game on the Steam blockchain or on technology like that to where you don't have to pay fees, you can just sit there and play a normal game and you get items backed by Steam. Enter Chibera. Chibera, is a MMO game on the Steam blockchain. An MMO is a massive multiplayer online game. Think World of Warcraft, but on the Steam blockchain. The person who's developed this has already put in $60,000 into development, and some of it is going into promotion for this game. The link I just used is the main post that got promoted to showcase this. And it was Degan Slaw, the person who's behind Zapple, and he told me, he's like, you know what, no one's really noticed the post yet. I'm really surprised. I'm like, so what? Because he just asked me an hour ago. I'm like, you know what, Slaw, I'm going to go PYPT. I'm going to be doing a McDonald's run. When I come back, I'll talk to him about it for you. And everyone knows I'm a game guy. Gaming's what I love. How I got into Steam it was because I was playing poker, wanted to make Bitcoin, and then I found Steam, fell in love with Steam blockchain. So I'm really, really excited because you can actually play games on Steam. All of these mechanics are going to go into this crowdfund. So you basically put in $5 and you have a chance to win a laptop, like there's a $7,000 computer. There's a raffle for it. And the higher you go up in the fundraiser tiers, the more you can win, such as exclusive names. You can get discounts on the in-game auction house, or even your exclusive rare legendary dragon that you can name Battle Axe's Love. Or Battle Axe's Hell Hath No Fury, like Woman's Horn, with a bunch of hyphens in the middle. Go crazy with it. And there's actual ways that you can buy land in the game, and when someone wants to go hunting, they can pay you to go hunting on your land. Or you can own a town, or you can have a blacksmith. So you're like, hey, I don't feel like going and hunting monsters. I'll tell you what, you give me your materials, I'll make an item for you, and you pay me in Steam. And there's so many applications for this. So I just want to give promotion for it. I've talked for him for hours about the game and gameplay. So I would love any questions y'all shoot my way. I'm more happy to answer anything because I think I'm pretty much an expert for what they're wanting to do right now. I'm not going to lie. So I am willing, ready, and able to answer any questions y'all got about what could be the thing that puts Steam on the map for non-crypto people.
So, if somebody wants to join the game, what are they going to do? Is there a link there for them to go to?
The beta is going to come by Christmas. Right now, it's a fundraiser because they're going to have a Kickstarter.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. So, right now, it's going to be first come, first serve for Steam users. But you know what? We're going to give the first benefits to Steam users, and then we're going to go take it to Kickstarter. And with Kickstarter, they're actually going to pay. So, someone who contributes to Kickstarter will actually get their own Steam account paid for them by the company or by the group who's doing it.
And you said that Dagensloth is behind this?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So anybody's not aware, Dagensloth is the guy that brought Zapple to the platform. So he's not an amateur.
Hey, where did Zeppel go, by the way? I mean, I know it's still there, but it just kind of seems to have dwindled and shut down their witness and everything.
I don't know that people have grasped it and continued to grasp it.
I agree. It's just people aren't using it because they don't see a purpose. For my personal opinion, they just don't utilize Zapple like they could.
Yeah.
Well, people tweet all the time. Why don't they throw Zap out there? Just saying.
Trying to get people from Twitter onto Zapple is not always the thing, because the reason why Twitter is so popular because everyone uses Twitter. So trying to get those same people to bring on Zapple when they don't have the same outreach, the same connections, it's more difficult.
Yeah, it's something that may, as
maybe on the Zapple app itself, maybe he needs to throw a little share the Twitter button on there. That would help tremendously. Just saying. Shouldn't throw that away. It's a phenomenal app.
It's not throwing it away. Right now, it's just maintenance and up. He said, I asked about it the other day. He said right now they're just maintaining and updating it and just keep it running smoothly. Like they don't have to really add any innovations other than just tweaking it and just making it better. Like there's nothing more they can really do about it, or not really more they can add to it to make it even more amazing. Like once we get millions of people on this platform, they'll get more notice, of course. But right now, by putting funds into this game, you're going to have people who don't know what blockchain is, who need to know what a blockchain is, because they're just going to be playing this game and getting items that are backed by Steam. They can have their username and they can actually post in-game onto the Steam blockchain. They can put their highlights, they can put their items to go, hey, I'm selling my legendary sword, and they can post right to the Steam blockchain and have a post about it, all from hitting the share button within the game.
That's an interesting concept with taking a Zap and sharing it to Twitter.
Well, the problem I have with Zapple is that everybody is like, even with Steep Shots, the photo one, people are like, well, don't just post a picture, put type underneath it. And so do you really? So I think people are afraid to use it because it's a tweet and it still shows up in your feed.
No, actually, Zapple won't show up in your feed on Steam. It's like only Zapple. The only way you can see a Zap is if you're on Zapple, to my knowledge. Unless you go to someone's account that you know is on Zapple, then it'll show up. But
no, it does. I have a friend that
really?
Yeah, it shows up in your.
If you're on Zapple, the only thing that shows up in your feed while you're on Zapple is Zap.
Yes, when you're on Zapple, that's the only thing that shows up. But Steemit doesn't filter the Zaps out, so they do show up on Steemit. It's up to Steemit to filter them out.
Either way, microblogging has huge potential and purposes, in my opinion. And look at all the attention the people like Luke Stokes and Tim draw from Twitter just over to the Steam platform and EOS. I mean, Zapple needs to be there, and it needs to be a lot more attention paid to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
Well, I could zap my words of wisdom every day.
There we go. All right, thanks, Folsom. Rhonda, you're up. And yes, Azaria, there is now a Pimp gnome.
Oh, I love him. He's so cute.
Well, we can thank Jack Miller for that.
I am so happy I got this post done. Thank goodness. I've been working and working and working. This is the post I talked about this morning, where I actually was, let me see if I can find a way to state this. I'm actually working in conjunction with some officials in Tazewell County to try to get the word out about this. It's the first time that's ever happened. We need to, I've got some contact information in this post for a delegate and a senator for our area who need to hear about this. And you better believe I'm going to be contacting them. I FOIA'd this information. This video came from the sheriff's office directly to me in my inbox. This man was named. He was identified. He was charged for dumping this dog. And when it went to court, he was fined $25, which doesn't even pay the deputy's salary who arrested him. So anyway, that is what I'm really hoping will get going. Our animal control officers can be wonderful. They can be the best animal control officers in the world. But if they're making cases and taking them to court, and people are getting fined $25, they're spitting in the wind. So, I would love to show our ACOs some support. I'd love to show our law enforcement officers some support for the efforts that they make by contacting state representatives and telling them that their judges are dropping the ball.
Yeah, that's pretty deplorable that, somebody drops an animal off, there's bigger fines, and yet they get a $25 fine.
Yeah, it's by state law, it's a class 3 misdemeanor. It's not even a civil offense. This is a crime. And the fine can be up to $500, and our judge fined him $25. And this man was a repeat offender. When you look at him, pull him up in the general court, website, he's got offenses going way back. And he's not a first time offender. This was not the first time he'd been before the bench. So, there's just no excuse for this. And I put some information in the post. I hope that everybody will, not just upvote it, but maybe think about dropping an email to these representatives. It doesn't matter if you don't live here. If you think this is ridiculous, let them know the world is watching.
For sure.
Well, I think it's really neat, though, that it's just like other issues you've dealt with on Steam It, Rhonda, that Steam It has helped things get better, and it's keep helping things get better.
Oh yes, and that's absolutely right. I would not have been entrusted with this information if it had not been for Steam It and for the support that you guys have shown and stepping up to the plate and comments and the things that show the interest in what's going on in Tazewell County. I've shined a light on it, and to their shock, to the shock of some local officials, shining a light here has, instead of getting me troll stumped like it gets me locally, people understand why I'm upset. And so it's like a wave that they're not able to, to do anything about. And the interesting thing is this information here in this post, I was allowed to scoop the local newspapers. This is a scoop, guys. I got to this before any of the local journalists did. So, that tells me the power of Steam It. That's our future. Maybe not Steam It, because Steam It has problems. Steam It is riddled with problems, and they're never going to be fixed. But the Steam blockchain and the blockchain technology and the way we're doing that, that's going to be the future. And I think that's how we're going to change things, not just revolutionize the web, but get into these little regions like my little pocket of Appalachia and, basically show them that you can't do the good old boy thing anymore because blockchain's watching you.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Rhonda. I hope that one goes viral. Those people that are still on other social medias like Facebook and Twitter, this would be a good one to share out to them. Spread it out.
Yes, absolutely. I'm getting ready to. I'm going to do the courtesy of showing it to Major Heatley first, but then I'm going to post it on local Facebook. And this poor guy, this whirly wit, I hope he gets everything that's coming to him.
All right. Thank you, Rhonda. And the Kitty Gnome, you're next.
Well, I had planned to share a different post this evening than I did this morning, but there's so many people here tonight that weren't here this morning. I think I'm just going to share the same one. It's about that time of year when the weather begins to reach its peak. A lot of cultures call that the dog days, and this post talks a little bit about why it's called Dog Days. There's a constellation in the sky called Canis Major, the big dog, and you can see it there, see its little head and the front legs and the back legs and tail. And the star Sirius is the brightest star in the sky, and it is the one that is the kind of like a jewel in the collar of the dog. And there's a certain time of the year when that star Sirius rises about the same time the sun comes up, and that is the beginning of Dog Days. The ancient people actually thought that the combined heat of that star plus the heat of the sun is what made it so hot, but that isn't exactly the case, of course. That star is so far away that it really can't influence our weather here on Earth. But anyway, the start of Dog Days, it depends exactly on where you are on the Earth, because that star will rise with the sun at different times based on your latitude. And there's a lot of lore that goes in behind it, but it's about this time of year that begins happening, and it takes place for a good 2-3 weeks, you know. And so that post will teach you a little bit more about the stars and the solar system, and I hope people enjoy it. And if you really enjoy stargazing, there is a link at the bottom of the post to the planetarium program that I use called Stellarium. It is an open source piece of software. It's free to download, and there's a link there.
Very nice. Thank you, kitty girl. And Zipporah, you are up.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, so I've been, this has been on my list of posts to do eventually for months. And Die Bitch nominated me for open mic, and I thought, I have nothing funny, but this is sort of funny and sort of not. Maybe I just tried to put a slightly humorous spin on it, but it's actually true. I sprout fenugreek seeds, and my armpits, all my sweat smells like maple syrup. So I thought I would give a little how-to tutorial and guide people so that everybody can smell like pancakes.
So your armpits smell like maple syrup. Does that make you a covert Canadian?
Maybe people who pass me by must assume that someone smelling as delicious as I do must come from the fair land of the Canadians.
Better to smell like maple syrup than mousse, right?
Yep. Better than that. Oh, that's a hilarious GIF engine. Yep. It's pretty funny. Yeah. So, and it happens really quickly too. So even if you actually start doing this, if you eat just like a little bunch, like a small handful, you will wake up smelling like maple syrup. And so, for several months, like the fellow who just moved out, like we were both eating them, and I'm telling you, I just wanted to shove my face in his armpits because no more onion smell, no more stanky boy, just maple syrup in my bed. Without being sticky, of course.
How can you have unsticky maple syrup? That's sacrilege.
Well, I don't know. It's really interesting because the fenugreek is pretty. The seeds they're a little bit on the bitter side, but they're really hearty, and I actually love the taste. So it's interesting that something so bitter would smell so sweet, but it's true.
Learn something all the time.
Right?
Yep.
There you go. Yep. So.
So you get them at a store, or you have to get them from Amazon?
Yeah, the first time I tried it, we just bought some from the local health food store, just from their bulk section. And I tried it like 3 different times, and maybe 1 or 2 would actually spring a little tiny tail, but they didn't work. And so I actually found this, and I linked to it in the post, I found on Amazon these really good organic ones, and they work like a charm. Like every single one sprouts, and they're great, super reliable.
Very nice.
Random, I know, to follow the dog days and the justice.
Well, I don't know that anything's really random in PYPT because we cover a lot of topics.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
So has this been something that like you've narrowed down? Like, do you sprout other seeds and like found that other smells come from other seeds you sprout?
No, I haven't done sprouting of any other seeds. I actually specifically started sprouting fenugreek for this purpose because I'd heard, I don't know, some little whisper somewhere of, ooh, if you want your sex to smell like pancakes, start eating fenugreek sprouts. So I decided to try it. It was kind of a silly joke at first. And once we actually got them to work, and the next morning I was like, oh my God, that is actually really maple syrup. And now all these different girls within my community have all started doing it as well. They followed my instructions and bought the same little sprouting tray and seeds, and their boyfriends were very happy about it. So it's yeah. I specifically just for this purpose because I want to smell like maple syrup.
Man, I need to put some at the seed so I can get lucky.
Now I have a question. If your sweat smells sweet, would that attract mosquitoes or other pests more?
I haven't noticed that, so I don't know. I don't think that mosquitoes are attracted to that. I think it's more like potassium. I've heard eating bananas is bad because they like you more, but I haven't experienced that with the fenugreek.
Okay, awesome.
Injid's asked, what about ants? And Dynamic has said, what part of the world is this coming from?
Fenugreek, I think, is a traditionally used pretty heavily in Middle Eastern.
No, I mean like I'm sorry, but what culture are you emanating from? The lands of Canadians or?
Me? I live in Portland, Oregon.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense now. Oh wow, okay.
Dynamic,
all right, cool.
when I said about her smelling like maple syrup, didn't I say covert Canadian? As in, no, she isn't?
Well,
covert.
Well, yeah, no, I heard that. I was just kind of.
I'm pretending, but really
yes.
I'm from my own planet. But as far as the physical Zippy lives in Portland, Oregon. Yep, I'm a weirdo. Put me in Portlandia. Maybe the fenugreek sprouts should be a skit.
Have you connected with Elemental out there and Hempress?
No.
Yeah, they're out there in Portland area doing a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, that you guys might get along out there, especially if you're into sprouting seeds and smelling like maple syrup.
I know, it makes me sound like a totally crunchy hippie, like that never bathes, but not quite.
Apparently you're part of a trend.
I just took my first shower in like 2 weeks, so.
Whoa.
Oh, that was news we needed.
I knew you were gonna say that. I almost said it for you, Shadows. I should have said it in unison.
I'm too predictable, am I?
I've just heard you say that many a time, and you've said it to me before, so it's good.
All right. Thank you, Zipporah. Chris, you're up. Is he still with us? Yes, he is. There we are. And looks as though we've got some text here. Just a fun manic night at the homestead. Neo X Nemesis experiences racing thoughts and rapid speech. Two very common occurrences in a manic episode. This one is a fun one, but they aren't always. Okay. We're going to have to check out what's on that video. Princess of the Gnomes says, what a crew tonight. Y'all are fun. Thank you, Chris. And Artemis Gnome.
I thought you were telling me to go home for a minute there.
How come you're Artie Gnome in the voice chat, but you're Artemis Gnome the rest of it?
Well, I changed it.
Okay.
I like Artemis.
I know. It's okay.
Anyways, this is just, well, not just. This was my first trip to Pride in London. And it was my first attendance at Pride anywhere. It was really cool. We went there by accident. My daughter and I like to meet every so often downtown for coffee and catch up. And we realized, wow, it's Pride weekend. What an amazing noise. It was awesome. People were in so many colors and dressed up, and everybody was happy. Nobody was fighting or being grumpy. And there were protesters there. In fact, when we first walked up, the loudest voice I heard was someone that telling me if I became humble that God would forgive me. But they were drowned out pretty quickly. And it was a great time, so check out the post.
God would forgive you for being humble?
No, if you humble yourself, God will forgive you.
I see. For going for coffee with your daughter. You baddie.
I know, it's a terrible sin, but someone has to do it.
Yep. Dynamic says Pride Weekend in SF is mostly leather satire. I assume that's San Francisco. And
Yeah.
Princess says, I love, love, love Pride Peeps, rainbow world we live in.
I just put down London, Canada, because I was asked the other day that I was told that you lived in London, England, and I was like, no, it's Canada.
London, Ontario in Canada.
Well, okay.
Yes.
But it's Canada.
I don't
Always
think I
getting...
could do the British accent.
Pardon? What's that, Artemis?
I just said I don't think I've got the British accent going on.
No, Genome is going to have to teach you that.
Oh, and I needed another copy of the Booby song without me saying anything in it.
Oh, okay, I getcha.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Artemis. And Kitty Gnome says there's also a London and Kentucky, USA. Yes, I was reading something today that was talking about London, Kentucky. Thought that was kind of neat. So Swolsome is actually down on the list, but he's actually going to introduce Dagensloth, who we were talking about earlier. So go ahead, Swolsome.
All right, guys. I just spoke about Chibera. I hope I pronounce it right. I always get it wrong. But this is Dagensloth, the guy who created Zapple, and I want to give him the opportunity to talk about his project, things he's passionate about, and he can hopefully answer some questions y'all may have.
Okay, Dagensloth, welcome. And hopefully his voice is working.
He was really, really quiet.
Oh, you need to bring your volume up some. Yeah, you're very quiet.
What about now? Can you guys hear me?
A little bit more would be good.
Alright, can you guys hear me now?
Much better.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, use your outside voice. So tell us about this game that you've got going.
Well, right now we're building in a MMORPG open world game that's probably going to be several sizes bigger than Skyrim currently is. We've already mapped out 36 races, but the game will start with 9 races at the beginning, and there'll be ownable land, an auction house that you can sell land and houses and things on for Steam and SBD. in a PvP and PvE world with mounts and everything that you'd expect in an MMO, but we're going a little further with the design of the characters and the lores. We're going to be using multiple lores and things like that.
So, how long have you been working on this?
About 2.5 months. So first I started off building the plugins. So we're also going to be providing free plugins to the community for Unity and UE4. So anyone will be able to make a game that is integrated with Steam and the Steam market APIs and things like that. So you'll be able to sell whatever you want inside a game or set up in-game economies.
So is it gonna be on like its own front end?
It's going to have its own clients and things like that, but it's going to connect. So when you log into the game, you'll log in using your Steam. It will your Steam posting key and username. It'll store that inside your application, and anytime you need to do anything on chain, it'll post from your client to the chain saying that you did a transaction or whatever.
Okay, so it's a standalone, but it's connected to the chain for your transactions.
Yep. So it's integrating the Steam blockchain, but also having the huge backend that we need to be able to hold thousands of people. Because until SMTs, well, we really don't have any smart contracts.
Right.
So
General norm is
everything's being sorted.
Pardon?
So everything's being sorted in a format that when SMTs come, we could possibly copy all that data over into the SMT and then just have everything on chain.
Okay. So General Gnome has asked, is this going to be a bit like Arch Age?
I don't actually know that game, so I'd have to look into it. It's like a mixture of Aura Kingdom mixed in with Path of, what's it called? The newest Zelda game, and then some ESO ideas are mixed in there as well with a couple few of other games that are butchered together.
So this stage of the game, from what I understand from Swolsome, you're taking investments?
We're taking community crowdfund right now, so everything that we offer in the crowdfund will have value on the auction. So if you buy names and you sit on those names, you will be able to sell them on the auction later on. So let's say people are obsessed with anime names, well, you'd be able to squat as many of those want, and as soon as the game comes out, you'll be able to sell those names to other people for profit.
Okay. Battleaxe is commenting that there's already a Team Good clan forming. So I take it that some of the clans are being formed?
Yeah. Before we even initially launched the project to the public, we had already been given like $19,000 by some of the bigger people in the community. So people just grabbed the biggest spots that they could before we even launched it to make sure that they could get in on it beforehand. And now we just posted it to the public.
So when is your projected release date?
Okay, so the release date for beta will be just before Christmas. So it's the optimal time that everyone's home with their family. Word to mouth is the best time to launch the game. There will be an alpha version that people over a certain amount will be able to play the game, the whole entire development, give their feedback, and then have an influence on how the game is developed, design, and how things are built, homes, landscapes, and things like that.
So
Decorating?
that was the question. Will it include decorating?
Yes, you will be able to decorate inside your homes.
Can you make the home however you want?
We're currently figuring out if UE4 will allow that. So if we can allow that, then yes, we will. But
and
if
trees
not,
and
then
stuff?
trees, possibly planting plants on your property. We're looking into that as well. So tillable land, people being able to grow flowers and things for potions and things like that. So it has an in-game market because we're going to have smith shops and things like that people can rent out their shops to people who just walk by and they need to tear down an item, well, they can gain profit from that because that person has to pay them to use their smelting shop.
So, have you ever heard of Rift?
Yep.
And the dimensions in there? That's the kind of building I'm kind of asking
about. Like building your own personal space?
Yeah.
Probably not. What's going to happen is they're going to be properties all throughout the world, and then you'll be able to purchase that property and then rent out rooms to people where they can have storage in those rooms and they continue paying their rent, and then you can gain on that property, or you can sell it on the auction house. You can just go around buying properties and flipping them on the auction house for Steam SVD.
Okay, so really it's more of a money-making game and not a...
We're trying to bring those aspects in, so your own personal design to your homes, like chairs and things like that. We're trying to bring that in if we can, but if UE4 doesn't allow it, then we can't, and then we'll have to go with basic ideas of like map the inside of a house or whatever that people would have to set up themselves.
Right, okay.
So I'm just watching the chat as it rolls by here, and people seem to be taking an interest in the possibilities.
Is there user content creation within the game? And like say, I could rent a blacksmith's place. So I rent that blacksmith place for an hour and say build a brand new sword and then be able to sell that sword?
Yes, you would. So basically what happened is people own the property, you come in, you tear apart your items, you build your items and things like that, and you would just pay them for using that service.
Okay. And what about new property for new users? So if I was a player that came along, say, 18 months down the road and the game is massive and it's pretty much got a lot of the stuff it needs anyway going and it's running great, have I still got the opportunity then at that very late stage to probably purchase some property? So is the world you're building expandable as the game goes?
Well, yeah, at the beginning, the world will be the size of the 9 races that we'll start the game with. Then eventually the world will grow over time to the 36 that we currently have planned out to launch over the next 2 years. So the landscapes will expand as those races are released.
Yeah. Okay. So after that, you have all the 36 out, and it's 5 years down the road, and I come along as a new player. Is there the ability for me to say, throw $25 in and create my own plot of land?
Well, currently we don't know about that. Currently, what we do know is there'll be enough space that if more homes need to be built, that they'll be able to be built. So it's an open world that is procedurally generated, and then all that land can be flattened or whatever and put new homes and new spaces to make room for new players.
Yeah, okay, I've got you. So basically, like, you'll have a waterfront around all the land where it's not continental, and even then you'd have a water around that land. And as you needed more land, you could just add it into the water space and move that water back in a square, so to speak.
Yep, basically. That and people that own property will be able to rent out rooms inside that property so people can store things inside that house, like have extra storage and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, where you're going to have it, like, would you be able to go in and, without renting a blacksmith's place, kind of, would I be able to res objects, say, like a square, and res 6 squares and probably make a chair or something?
Currently, I don't know yet because we're still early on in the development. I'll have to ask my designers what we can do about that, but we'll definitely come up with a post probably within the next week or so that will get into crafting, because we do want to have advanced crafting for people to be able to customize their homes. But if UE4 does not allow it, then we have to go into the engine and edit it to allow certain things.
So Genome would like to know if you can do user-created content support with possibility to sell.
Yes. So one thing that we will be doing is working with people in the community to make assets, and then we'll put those assets in our stores, and then the sales from those will go to people that helped create those assets. So they'll draw them out, and then our 3D artists will render them and put them in the game, and then they get a cut.
I just want to be able to make pretty things.
If we can allow it, we'll do it. Okay, I can say it like that.
Okay.
Battle Axe is asking if avatars can make out with each other.
Oh, like in Second Life?
Like in Second Life. She's asking for a friend, you know.
I mean, we can look into it. I mean, I don't even currently know what the rating on this game is going to be, and from some of the concepts...
Well, that might decide it.
Yeah, some of the concepts that the artists are giving, there's going to be some scantily clothes coming out for males and females, so...
Well, that's a given, though, in an RPG game.
And Battle Axe says she's asking for a friend because she totally wants to go grab whale butt.
If there's any more questions that anyone has... Oh yeah, we will have mounts in the game too, and your pets will be able to attack with you. So your pets will be trainable, and you can sell those on the open market. So if you want to be a breeder, you'll be able to be a breeder. If you want to have mounts, there'll be ground mounts, water mounts, and sky mounts, so you'll be able to fly, swim, and run across the ground.
You're going to make flying?
Yep.
Through the whole thing?
Not in the PvP world. PvE,
well, no,
yes.
Right, yeah, right.
But there'll be like, weather effects,
PvP.
Things like that will also affect how fast you're riding and how fast you're flying. So there'll be, if you go into a snowstorm, well, obviously you're going to fly a little slower than what you were expecting to at that given time if a storm's going through.
Right, yeah. And there's crafting, you said?
Yeah, we'll have advanced crafting, so you'll be able to make rings, capes, shoes, things like that. You can get minerals.
So what about clothes?
Yep, we'll allow clothes making.
That will cover up your armor that you need? Or just clothes as armor?
Clothes as armors, but we can implement accessories to cover up armor, if that's what people are interested in.
Yeah. And then you can dye it and stuff, whatever color you want, not just brown.
Yeah, we'll definitely have dyeing and all that.
I need to make some more posts.
And Gnome Pro is now telling us he's going to sell garden gnomes in the game.
10 Steam!
It's okay, I'm going to have a special pet that is a kappa, so a baby kappa. And I'm going to be the only person in the world that has it.
I think you're going to have to make some gnomes. Just saying.
I mean, we're going to have a lot of pets and a lot of mounts and things that people are going to want to play with. The map's going to be so massive that, and there's so many lores that are mixed into the game that there's going to be a lot more than what people are thinking. And we're going up to 8K support. Obviously, most people are not going to play in 8K, but the game will be able to support 8K and VR.
In case you haven't noticed tonight, there seems to be a bit of a gnome theme in the Pimp Your Post Thursday. We'll get over it.
Gnomes and Mountie zombies, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
when he says...
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Swolsome.
I was going to say, when he says 8K, it means you can play this on the Xbox.
Oh yeah, this will launch on phones, consoles, and also PC.
No, that's right. I'd have to play it as PC.
If we can get the licensing rights, it'll also be on Switch.
That's rich, you know. It does. And I just got a new graphics card, like a really good one. Like
Ooh,
a really good.
What you got?
I have no idea. My guy. I put it in.
Oh yeah. Also, we will be giving away a free PC. So like a pretty beast PC with a i7 and a 1080 Ti RGB and a really fast SSD in it.
Or I could win that.
I don't know.
I'll send you my new graphics card.
I think Misnomer's ears just perked up too.
Well, a
They
good
did.
gaming PC is like
I just
it's
posted the
expensive.
specs inside the chat.
I don't want to read the specs. I'll cry.
I definitely get the feeling that there's some interest in this game, Dagensloth.
Well,
No, what gave that away?
People were pouring money into my pockets before, when I had first initially just released some images of like artist renderings and things like that. Like thousands of dollars was instantly sent to me at that time, and I was like, okay, there's some possibility here. So I dumped a couple $1,000s into the prototype, and I'm investing $65,000 of my own money into the game.
Okay, so how do we win that computer?
It's the $5 contributor level, so every single person only gets one a ticket. So for $5 gives a ticket, and everyone only gets one ticket. So it's not, if you have a $10,000 perk set, you're not getting 10,000 tickets. Everyone has equal chance.
$5 real dollars or $5
$5 USD in Steam.
Or Steam? And or Steam?
$5 USD in Steam. Or SBD.
Oh.
Just like Steam Monsters, just like buying a starter pack for Steam Monsters.
Okay. I need to back scroll and find out where to send that because I need to get my name in that.
Can you post that link again for that post?
Clearly, people are interested. Clearly.
And Dagensloth's going to be putting out some other posts he said as well.
You should have seen me rendering 250 frames of a Daz animation with a 1050. Yeah, that was lovely. I need a computer, man.
I can't have it. It's mine.
Also, will allow perks to be, people will be able to delegate for perks as well.
So future postings about it will come out under this account name?
Underneath Chibera, yeah.
So if you want to stay up to date with what's going on, you need to follow that one.
Mm-hmm. Followed.
Oh, G-Max.
I like the whole creating content idea for it.
All right.
Yeah, we figured the Steam community was so big with creators and people that draw and constantly, things like that. It would be really stupid for us to just be like, yeah, we'll make our own assets. Now it's good to have community people also in, because then they bring in more people into the game as well too, which is smart marketing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Totally.
And sorry for interrupting.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just delighted that you jumped in and took some time to talk about this so that people can get a better feel for it. You never quite know what you're going to find out at PYPT.
Oh yeah, I'm always online. I'm always available for questions if anyone ever has any. And not just on the game development and stuff like that too, for the Steam Network.
And we do Pimp Your Post Thursday twice a day, every Thursday. So if you want to come back a week from today and give people an update, come the next week and give people an update. That'd be awesome.
Alright, I'll make sure to keep this room. There's some rooms that people invite me into and I tend to leave really quickly, but this room seems chill.
Yeah, this is chill.
Just don't hurt the gnomes or the Canadians, whatever.
Can't hurt the Canadians, we'll hurt them back.
Or the ones pretending to be Canadians.
Yeah, that smell like,
maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
So Dagenslav, did you see Genome's comment that if you need any writing done, check out the writer's block?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll make sure to check it out. Do you have a link or whatever?
Kitty
I
Girl
can
can
get
do that in
you
about
one. Hang
5
on a second.
seconds.
Just let Gmux breathe.
Oh my.
What the heck was on that?
Well, that didn't work out as intended. That's not what I thought I had in my clipboard.
The gnomes ate it.
Yeah, the gnomes ate it. There we go.
Good
Thank
thing
you.
it wasn't
Good
something
Lord.
inappropriate.
Lord have mercy. See, I've gotten so excited hearing about this that I can't function. You see what you do to me? I can't even.
Okay.
I'm broken. You broke me. I don't work anymore.
Do you work any less?
I don't even know.
Alright guys, thanks for the link.
Thank you, Dagenslav. And on that note, you've been listening to Shadows Pub host, Pimp Your Post Thursday, evening edition from the Steam at Ramble. Until next time, it's all about community. And goodbye, Wilma.
Bye, Wilma.
Bye, Wilma.
That's nice.